Oh, well, you decided to do yourself a favor, huh? I know. You're welcome. Thanks. Charlie Greer Podcast. Hello. If you want to support this channel, like, share, and subscribe. Uh, there's a description in the there's a information in the description for Zelle. You know what to do. Today, I'm going to talk about my book, Rant of the Madman. Let's see. It came out in 2003. It's almost 20 years. 20 years. So I didn't have any burning desires to be an author or I want to write a book. So what happened was I used to have charlesdavidgreer.net. I had a website. I had my own website, believe it or not. I was doing a little bit better back then. So yeah, charlesdavidgreer.net. And when I'm not I needed someone to build it for me and run it. If I needed an update or whatever, I needed, some dude that knew computers. So yeah, charlesdavidgreer.net. And there was like buttons, click here, ready merch, whatever. And one of them was like updates or live gigs. And so every time I had to get it updated, the dude would charge me like $25, or sometimes I could get around it. He was always like, again, is it even free? I was like, dude, just put me an update. How long does it take? Oh, and if I'm sweating, it's because I moved back to the Midwest, and all of a sudden it's hot. Like it was rainy and cold, and then bam, like 90 degrees, like 85% humidity yesterday. Brutal. See, I got a sweaty upper lip. And the fan I have is just loud. If I turn it, it's on low. If I turn it, you don't want that. So yeah, back to what I was saying. Let's move on. So I needed it updated. And sometimes I was like, you know what? So I was talking to him like, is there any way? Or maybe he was like, look, I will make it that you want to update. It'll spawn a window, open up a new window. You make your profile, he said it was a free site. I didn't even look, right? So, and then, so when I updated, I could update it, save, boom, and it would be it would show on my website. Again, he told me this, he'd spawn a new, open up. So I'd have to pay the guy. He kind of did me a solid. So I started updating stuff. And quite honestly, I wasn't doing too good. I was going through, I mean, again, I'm the festering boil on society's ass. I sometimes, yeah. So I just started ranting like a madman, like every day, just talking about stuff that did, like little paragraphs, Again, my dumb ass, I didn't even look at what site. I didn't even pay attention, just like, I got it. And there was a contact on my, contact me on my website. And after, I don't know, maybe even a few months of this, I got an email. Or I started getting emails. I'm like, oh my God, I love your diary. It's like a warm blanket. I read it every day. I'm like, diary? Oh, you've been, you know what? You've gotten some clicks where you're on the main page. Like you're in the top 10 of the diary. So I think it was diary.org or something. Like what the, he spawned a new, and it took me to diary.org. I'm updating. I had no idea that other people, besides people coming to my site, could read this stuff I was writing. I was getting emails every day. I read your diary, read mine. Diary. I've never written a diary. And I was honest about it. I was like, hey. So then I got contacted by like an editor, that works like in the publishing world. Hey, if you ever want to publish it, I'll photo edit it for you. Something, they have to do something. Anyway, she said she would do it and help me out. And I started chatting with her, and then she was like, yeah, you know what? Would you mind if I pitch the book. You mind if I kind of represent you and solicit, And again, I'm not an author, man. I mean, I'm a high school dropout. I mean, granted, I went to junior college after I got my GED anyway. But yeah, I'm not an author, and I have no burning desires. Well, see, no. And so yeah, she started, she did it on her own, like copying and pasting it, put it all in one, and then she sent it to me, and I was like, wow, like that's kind of seeing it all together. And again, it's a little paragraph. It isn't like my book is like a pamphlet, basically. It's not really a book, And I wasn't in the right state of mind to be, So she started doing that, and it wasn't good. People, who, what? No, she's. I'm gonna stop showing people. And she's like, look, you should use one of these self-publishing companies, like a co-op operation where they'll help you out. You pay for certain costs, they help promote, they pay for certain promotions, And that kind of set a fire. Like, hey, maybe I can. What? This is another piece of merch I can have. So she had to set stuff up. There's things you got to do. Like you need a professional to make sure there's no spelling errors, which there were a lot. Okay. And they have to format it and, all this stuff I know nothing about. So she did that. And I found a publisher, a self-publisher. And I was surprised at how cheap it was. It was like, back then, I think it was like $300, like total. They're going to design the book, and once it's done, they're going to send me a copy. Like $300. I mean, in the band world, $300 that's not going to get you anything. If you're trying to print, release a CD, $300. That's just that's nothing. So $300. I mean, hey, I could do that, which I did. And at first, they were cool. Like, hey, there's your band. And, then I got my package of my books, and it's cool. We had a little dinner party. And they did help promote. I mean, they were, and just stuff starts happening. Again, I don't really remember. It's like, oh, you want to do a book signing? And book signing, well, might as well. I mean, and this is not glamour. It's like you're at a folding table with some other, self-published people. But my book, people liked it. I was selling books. And I didn't get free books. At the beginning, they gave me some free books, but after, you have to, you get a discounted rate, and then when you flip them, you make money, but it's not that much. And since my book was basically a pamphlet, they wanted it to be, I remember I was like, no, man, I want it like $9.99. Like, what's the cheapest? And they didn't want like, no, you better. It's like, no, man. It's like, nobody know. It's like what, 80 pages, 90 pages, 100 pages, maybe. It isn't really a book. Pardon me. So I would buy my books, sell them, and I did good at book signings. Buy my book. Come on, there you go. I'll sign it. And I started getting bigger, better, and it got to the point where I'm doing book signings with people that had gotten advances, and had had agents, and and they'd be like, who are you? What did you, how did you? I'm like, yeah, right. And not to toot my own horn, but I would sell the most books. I would sell out. They wouldn't sell a book. I would sell like 20. And I said previously in one of my earlier podcasts that I was doing a book signing in Burbank. It was a group book signing. A lot of hip people. Again, professionals that make a living at this. Like, I own a house. And I knew, you kind of get a buzz, and, people that are on the pulse, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not your typical, there's cool people out there or whatever. And Ray Bradbury showed up at my signing, Ray fucking Bradbury, right? And he had brought some friends, and I was like, oh, what? And they bought a book. I signed it for him. And it kind of set off these other people, like, who are you? What? How did Ray Brad? Well, yeah. And they're kind of like wanting to come over and like, coattail ride off me. He wouldn't have anything. Fuck, what? I remember that night just hanging out and having drinks with this guy, and people were just kind of gritting on you, mother. Instead of like being cool and like, and one guy he's like, hey, pull me aside, like, dude, I work at like one of the studios at Burbank. Not only do I a publisher, but I don't know what they call it, but like help write like sitcoms and TV shows, and like we should hook you up, I was like, yeah, hook me up. He's like, well, let me go get the girl who, she's kind of my boss. She's actually here. She's got a book too. And she was kind of a miserable person. So we're at this, place of business that's doing the book signing, and she's like, "Can we, can I take you? Let's find a private room." So she actually talked like the owner. Can we use the somebody's office or whatever? Went in there, closed the door, and went at me, like, forget about trying to help me. Just like, oh, you're this, you're that, you're not this, you're not that, that, and then walked out. And I was thinking, like, I've had this happen before. Or under the guise of what they think they're gonna no. And unfortunately for her, I ain't the one. So when I walked out, I was just like, I act like nothing happened. And I look over and I see them like in a little group, and I just act like, what? Went right back to talking to Ray Bradbury or whatever. And I was just, and then the shit talking, is just, and again, and I've said this a million times, you're onto something. If you're threatening, that means, if I was so shitty, why the fuck would they give a shit? Why would they be, again, certain people, man, competition, they don't want any competition. See, I want to be around people that are better than me. I want to be inspired. That's not. And quite honestly, these people outsource. I wrote my book. Yeah, you did. Sure you did. And they use the same people, whatever. And then so when I start like, hey, wanting some money from my book, because you could go to Amazon. Matter of fact, you can go to Amazon, look for Charlie Greer, Rant of the Madman. There's like physical copies you can buy. There's like digital downloads and stuff. You can see how many used copies they are, and they're for sale. And they're all over, man. Hawaii, all these places. Like, what? And then I try to contact, the publisher, and we'll get back. But long story short, I've never been paid for my book. It was like 19 years now. And I've talked to lawyers, and corporately, the company that they've switched, been bought out, this, that, we don't have any records, all that kind of stuff. And a while back, my the first editions, which I don't have any copies, I wish I would have kept them, was going for like big money on Amazon. What? Are you serious? And again, I'm not getting any of that. If you see any of that out there, I don't get any of that. And once it's sold, somebody can resell it. It doesn't matter. And again, I've never been paid. Years of just trying, like, okay, I'll try again. So I just kind of stopped promoting the book. Like after a while, it's like, why should I, break my back? And around LA, I would get these hipster cool, hunting me down, like finding me in like Highland Park, and some of them tried to help. Again, they hit that wall though of like, oh my God, I don't have anybody representing me. I don't have a lawyer at the time. The publishing people won't, you kind of just roll with it, and it's a drag. It sucks. It makes you even look more like unprofessional, like they're, So I kind of didn't mention it to people. I'm not saying like, oh, I get paid it. But the way I look at it, it's only $300. And technically, through reselling my book, I'd made a lot more than that. I'd made So I'd gotten my money back and then some. And you're going to hear like lawnmowers and stuff. People, it's sunny today, so everybody's out on their lawnmower. So, yeah, you just kind of like, well, I mean, do I really want to do another? And again, I'm not I'm more of like a painter, musician. Sometimes I can act if I, you know, but author, no. But I have written, again, I've written scripts and in fact, I wrote technically another book called Struggle, Repeat. And I just never, why should I release this so I don't get paid again? I mean, come on. So that's going on. And then I realized somehow, maybe it was one of these lawyers that like, hey, you own the movie rights to your book. You can option that or get it a buyout, whatever. Maybe you should like switch gears and just try to make it, con someone into optioning it, it's called. And there's another thing, like they will option a book just for the title, like Rant of the Madman, and it might be whatever, horror movie, And while this was going on, they were explaining I forgot who they were. They're like, yeah, Rebel Without a Cause, the James Dean movie. The original book is like a self-help book for teens or something. It has nothing to do with, And again, I'm sorry about the lawnmower noise. They love to mow the lawn around here. And the grass grows crazy. But anyway, yeah, you might get lucky. They'll just option your book just to use the title. So, okay, I'm in that mode. I'll try to option this piece of shit. Which I did. And I got people to, and I actually told this story earlier on an earlier podcast, but I had a producer or whatever, and she was like, look, I'm going to Manhattan, don't bug me, if I like it. And later on that night, she's calling me like, you're a genius. Oh my God, why didn't you tell me it was so good? What am I supposed to say? Yeah, here's my book. I'm a genius. No. In fact, I'll downplay it more. And so we, her and I, and she had I forgot what the studio. It's one of those older studios in Hollywood. It's on Santa Monica. It's next to the Formosa, whatever that. And it's technically not a studio. I guess like these production companies rent offices. But so we start meeting like every week. I had a graphic designer helping me out with like, materials to, eye candy so people can see, and a DVD, like with all this, so we could like, present it. And that took a while, and, a little bit of money and this, that, and the other. And so we started, you start doing that. And, again, long story short, she was warning me. She's like, look, I'm meeting with these people, but the type of person they just don't get, like, they're more corporate. And one of them was her brother. She's like, even though he's my brother, he, it was like, cool. So she's like, come, like tomorrow, come to the office and we'll talk about how it went. So I did. I show up and I go into the lobby. I didn't get past the lobby. They had security there. What am I going to, Yeah, you can't come. This, that. Where's my promotional stuff that I gave her? What's between you and her and this, that? Never saw her again. Never talked to her. Never returned my stuff. I guess it didn't go too well. That she would just want to ostracize me, like, forget about him. Yeah, and I would recommend, if you want to read this, go on. Go to Amazon. Charlie Greer, Rant of the Madman. You can read, or they used to. I haven't served this. You can look what's inside or whatever. And some sites will let you read it online for free. I'd recommend doing that. I mean, I'm not getting any money from the book. I've never gotten paid from the digital. And another thing about the digital copy is I didn't know that they had made it into like a downloadable, whatever it was. And they didn't tell me. Someone else, like a fan or something, like emailed me like, hey man, you know that they replaced you on the book, because on the book it's a cover, it's a picture of me without my head, it's like my tattooed arm, and that was like that for a long time. And then, without my knowledge, without asking me, they changed the cover. To this day, it's the cover of some like muscular male model with like a fake tattoo. Like they just like it looks obvious and it's just like put over there. And what are you gonna do? You know, what am I gonna? I tried to contact them again. In fact, I think that's the last time I tried to get a hold of this publishing company. And I'm just done with it. You know, like okay, whatever. Replace me, replace the picture of me on my book and put some kind of stupid looking fake. So if you see the one with my tattoo, that's the older one, and the newer ones, I guess, all have that new art on it. And again, I those first editions, and I don't even know how many first editions there were, and I don't own any of them. In fact, I don't even have a copy of my book. I don't keep them around. It's not like I've got it on the yeah. But I don't do any of that. I just move on with my life. I don't have old posters around me trying to see who I. Nope. I'm just not. I'm not like that. I get it. I think it's cool that people can. For some reason, I just never. To me, I just wasn't wanting to. So yeah, I don't have a copy of it. If you see real expensive copies online, I wouldn't go down that road. And again, try to find it for free online. And quite honestly, I don't remember writing most of it. Again, I wasn't doing that well. I'm not going to get into it, but I got problems. This was back in 2003. I think I wrote it in 2002, and then it came out in 2003. It's been a long time ago. I've gotten better, but yeah, sometimes you're, again, a creative person. Sometimes they're not doing that well. That's what I mean. So you have these artists, and then you have these, because basically when you're dealing with like an agent or a publishing company, record, whatever, they're a bank. You're just signing your life away, borrowing money on the worst rate you could ever imagine. So when you deal with these people, they don't have like money people, corporate are literal. They don't have personalities. They don't have any sense of humor. And they don't get like when you're dealing with an artist. So they want, birds of a feather stick together. They want people around like that's why the world we're in right now, the art and everything, it sucks. Because you're seeing people that are literally like they're cons. Oh yeah, I went to this and that, I graduate. Yeah, you can't fucking shit, just in my humble opinion. But that's the problem I ran into. I couldn't, again, I'm trying to sell or pit option, whatever you want to call it. And these people, all of them, they can smell you. I mean, they can just pick it up. Again, it's happened a couple of times where I don't get past the lobby. Nope. What are you going to do? I'm not going to go changing what I do to please someone other, and they probably did that a couple times a day. Every time, they don't care. But I guarantee you, if something did pop off and it was like, I was one of the first people to believe in. That always happens too. People coming out of the woodwork. Yeah, remember me? And you know what? I'm always cool with those people too. Like, I don't want to bring, hey, well, see you. No, I don't want that awkward moment. Or act like I don't. No, just roll with it. So yeah, Rant of the Madman. I mean, technically, I've actually talked to people like that would want to write it, convert it into a script. I actually think a few people have, but this didn't, but whatever. But, you do what you got to do. As an artist, I like to just kind of feel my way through. If I'm feeling this and that, if I'm not feeling it, I can't do it. I can't fake. I wish I could, man. I wish I could throw on that kind of. No, can't do it. This is how it is. And again, technically, I could, you know, get the gumption up and just try to option it or whatever it is. But no, again, man, I go to Amazon, look it up, read it for free. You're welcome. Thanks. It's not going to change your life. I mean, it's just, again, it's a pamphlet. And I haven't read it in, I mean, again, I don't have any copies. And if you do happen to have like a first edition, I'll sign it for you for free. Yeah. Then sell it. Make some money. Why not? Yeah, and that's why I didn't release my second one. Again, I wrote a second book called Struggle, Struggle, Repeat. And I just, I'm not gonna, no need. And again, I could always release that too. But it's just how it is. It's the way things are. It happened. What am I gonna do? So yeah, check it out. If you want to support the channel, like, share, subscribe. Again, if you want to support it, in the description, there's the information for Zelle. You can, hook me up. Yep. And yeah, I'm going to get out of here. This lawnmower is driving me crazy. But thank everybody for listening. I love you guys. And be blessed. And I'll see you tomorrow. Cheers.